Hey fam, welcome back to the channel. If you see my face for the first time, hello. My name is Kelechi Mozi, aka Sweetie Baby, Sweetie Mama, Sweetie Special, Sweetie the Law, Sweetie Everything Nice. And on this channel, we film about the law, interesting topics, soul-searching topics. We talk about controversial things, we discuss, and a few lifestyle content here and there. And yeah, so if you're interested in this kind of content, please keep on watching and let's get on to the video, okay? Yeah. Guys, so recently we've been seeing a lot of content relating to domestic violence, abuse, marital abuse, stalking, and all sorts of abuse kind of content like that. And I would just want to start out this video by putting a disclaimer. In my previous video, I know I talked about Jamie and Nikki, and I was more pro Nikki than pro Jamie, and I said that it was based off of my experience. That's why I was making that conclusion. But I am not oblivious to the fact, like I said, that women are also perpetrators of domestic violence, abuse, emotional abuse, physical, all sorts of abuse. So let's just get that out of the way before we continue with this video. Okay, all right. So what are the types of abuse? I feel like we need to discuss that before we get into the specific scenarios that I want to talk about today. There are various kinds of abuse. I'll put some links in the description box so we can talk about them. But there's emotional abuse, domestic abuse, psychological abuse, physical abuse. Okay, there's financial abuse. There's so many kinds of abuse. There's stalking, there's sexual abuse, and all sorts of things like that. So even harmful traditional practices like female genital mutilation and things like that are all considered forms of abuse and violence against women, generally speaking. But like I said, men also experience abuse. So my question is that why do people often stay in relationships or situations where they tend to experience violence, or they're experiencing violence and abuse, and even cover it up, okay, and pretend like it's not happening, and they keep on going on with their day-to-day life? Sometimes they even create a false narrative. They make excuses and act in certain ways that are so completely different to what they are going through. And why does that happen? Why is that? Because I'm asking this question because we see that in certain scenarios and in situations like we are going to discuss today, mainly Ronke Raji and Kiki Palmer, they were presenting a different front for the social media, for the internet. They were coming off as if nothing was happening, life was rosy. People were busy saying couple goals here and there. People were like, I want this type of marriage, I want this type of relationship. People were like inspiring, I can't wait to be like Ronke, having kids back to back, right? In that her aesthetic, brown and neutral and all those kind of colors with her husband. Kiki, on the other hand, had a stellar record, and all of a sudden she comes out with this guy, Darius Jackson, that she's dating, and everybody's like, wow, she's such a beautiful mom, she's slaying during pregnancy. I remember all the comments about Kiki slaying during pregnancy, she's killing it, pregnancy, she humbled pregnancy as opposed to pregnancy humbling her, not knowing that you guys, they were both in different situations, and throughout the entire period that they were posting, we're going through several forms of violence. Okay, so why do women keep that? Why do women hide it? Why are they private about it? Why don't we talk about it? And I think people have discussed this topic a lot, and some people say it's because the shame. Okay, they don't want to talk about the fact that they are enduring abuse. Some people say it's because of the victim blaming, which is a common occurrence in our culture today. A lot of people blame victims. Oh, what were you wearing? Oh, why were you in this place at this time? How did you provoke him? What did you say? What led to this? What led to that? I'm even calling myself out because it's sounding hypocritical, because I know what I said during Jamie and Nikki's situation and all of that. But yeah, a lot of people ask these questions. Sometimes it's pressure to stay married, and I think that's one of the points I'm going to make. It's pressure to stay married, to stay in that perfect image of marriage and family without wanting to jeopardize your bag, in quotes, because I know a lot of people, they start generating more income, more brand deals, especially when they are celebrities and influencers, because it's another stream of income, believe it or not. Okay, believe it or not, children are a stream of income for a lot of influencers. You see that influencers and celebrities open their children's pages, the children start becoming child actors, they start working for brands, they start becoming influencers themselves. Okay, so you want to keep that perfect image of like family together, everything together. Sometimes you spend so many years invested in these relationships, and it's like, where do I start? Okay, how do I break up and start all over again? Like, where do I go from here? Who would marry me? Okay, I'm a mom with 2 kids, 3 kids. Who is going to take a used or second-hand person like me? Who's going to, take me back and things like that, and all of that. Sometimes it's culture as well. In our culture, we don't get divorced, we don't take bride price back, we don't send our children home. Marriage is for life. As again, as in connection with culture is also religion as well. Oh, I'm a Christian and God hates divorce, the church will not let me get divorced, and I'd rather try counseling. Let's try separation, let's sweep it under the rug. You're already inside marriage, so deal with it, there's no way out, blah 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 blah. So these are some of the things that people say and people believe why they don't want to step out of abusive relationships. So yeah, let's get into the actual people that we're talking about. Like I said, Ronke Raji. Ronke's own came as a surprise, but not really, but really a surprise, because Ronke was, how do I say, I remember I did a video about Ronke when she came back on the internet, because she was away for like a year or 2 years or even more than that. I did a video talking about you never really know what people are going through and how we need to protect ourselves from trolls and things like that. Because I remember during NSARS in 2020, she came up with a hot take that did not sit well with the people, and so she got a lot of backlash, right? And so she got a lot of backlash, and then her husband was actively, at the time, her husband Banji was actively replying people and saying things which kept like making the situation worse. It kept aggravating the situation. And at that point, I never really saw Banji as a confrontational person. He always just seemed like the cool, aloof guy in her videos. Because I've watched Ronke for years, from their first apartment when she was friends with Cheesy Duru, friends with Norma and Kiton and all those people like that. I watched the wedding, I watched her trad, I followed everything. I didn't really like her makeup like that, but I preferred her lifestyle content to an extent. So I remember all the videos of him going to the grocery store with her. He just wasn't really that guy. So it came from left, like seeing him confronting and literally actively, doubling down and attacking people and stuff like that. And then she went off, and I thought it was because of that. I thought it was because of all the massive unfollowing and the cancelling and all that. Then she came up and said, oh, she was dealing with bipolar disorder, more than bipolar postpartum psychosis, bipolar disorder, and so many other things that she was talking about, mental health issues. And then she kept referencing her marriage in the past, like, oh, I'm not a single mom and things like that. I was like, from where to where? But look, I was not really surprised, but I was surprised, And then recently she put up a video after the whole Kiki Palmer thing came out, talking about the fact that she endured emotional abuse and it graduated to physical abuse.
It's so hard to talk about those things, especially because I had my partner online, and a lot of times I, didn't want to talk about it because I didn't want to put anybody on blast or anything like that. However, at the same time, as a woman, especially as an African woman, I truly believe that my power as a woman is to speak out. I think that my power as a woman is to be able to let people know, like, hey, these things go on. And I was never somebody, like, when I got married and I have 2 children, I was never somebody that ever thought to myself, like, I'm gonna leave my marriage. Never in my life. I always thought to myself I was gonna be in my marriage forever, until the emotional abuse turned into physical abuse.
Okay, sometimes abuse is not just one way. That's the reason why I discussed and I described abuse in detail in the beginning, because abuse kind of graduates. Sometimes it intermingles. Sometimes it's not just one way. Sometimes it is in several levels, several different shades and appearance. It comes in different ways, basically. So yeah, that was that. So she made the video on Insta story saying that she's deciding to speak up now because she realizes that she has a platform, she has a voice, and she owes it to people to be clear and speak up about what she went through. And there was something that she said, she didn't say it directly, but something that I took from it is that a lot of the times women feel bad even after you've experienced abuse. One of the reasons why women don't talk about it they don't want to be the bad guy. They don't want to be labeled. Women are afraid of labels. So she didn't want to seem like, oh, the angry black woman, the woman that is spoiling another man's name, oh, you're spoiling his family or his future prospects or his job or whatever. I've seen that several times. A lot of women saying they don't want to do this because, oh, it will affect the man. When he was doing these things to you, excuse me, did you think about that? I don't think so. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, that's one of the points. So now let's move to Keke Palmer. Keke Palmer's situation troubled me a lot because Keke Palmer, for years, we knew Keke Palmer from Aquila and the Bee, Abi Spelling Bee, that movie, and then she graduated into a lot of things, and then all of a sudden she comes out. She's been there chilling, doing her own thing, low key, here on TV appearances, shows, and not. She wasn't really. I didn't really see her in a lot of movies, but I just knew she was there. Like I'll see her Instagram feed from time to time on my For You page or Explore page, and then she comes up and shows off this boy that she's dating, this guy that she's dating. I don't know what he does or who he is. I've not even bothered to research, but I just know that she's more popular than him, Sha, because it was because of her that I knew about him. Okay, same with Ronke. It's because of Ronke I heard about Banji. I wouldn't have heard about Banji before. Same with Nikki. It's because of Nikki I heard about Jamie. I would have not even come across Jamie in any single way if not for these women. They are partners. I knew them because of them. So they were the celebs in my eye. Okay, so Kiki goes into this relationship and deals with all these things, and then lo and behold, we find out that what triggered it, yeah, her usher serenaded her at a concert, and she was kind of risquely dressed, and her husband or fiance, whatever, comes online and shares his opinion and condemns her outfit and the way she was dressed, saying that she's a mother, and that triggered a whole cycle of events, and up to the point that now we find out that he had been abusive the whole time they were dating. There are several CCTV footages, reports from her mother, even trying to reach out to the boy's family or the man's family to complain. She has taken out a restraining order against him, sought full custody of their child, and he's even still tweeting some kind of crazy tweet saying that see you soon, son, and things like that. A lot of things have been happening, you guys. And in the space of 1 month, okay, 3 prominent women have come out to express that they have gone through a level of abuse, and it's baffling. And the reason why it's baffling, because we on this side of the world, we think that abuse only happens to illiterate women or women who don't have power or women don't have jobs. Because every time something like this happens, people say things like, oh, women have your own or get your own. Even pastors preach that only a type of woman can be abused, right? Only a certain kind of woman can be abused because, oh, she doesn't have. If you have your own, he can, before he lays out his hands on you, he will think twice. Look at these women. Look at these women who literally were probably sole providers or providers to an extent more than, their partners, and look at where they are. Okay, we even talk about something really risky connecting to this, Gabrielle Union. Okay, another woman who, Dwayne Wade was popular, but and is still popular, but we can see that she's struggling in that marriage. She's struggling, okay, financially, emotionally, and all sorts of things in that marriage. So what do we tell women? How do we speak to women and encourage women to speak out, first of all? But don't even get into these relationships, okay? Don't even get into these relationships. There are several aspects of this that we'll break down in subsequent videos. The aspect of grooming, and I think that relates to Jamie and Nikki especially, because Nikki was 18 years old when they got together, and whether that's an adult or not, the age gap between her and her partner at the time is enough to consider it, at least consider, not label it directly, but consider it a level of grooming and a level of, perversion in some kind of way, right? And then there's levels of jealousy and competition between partners. When you see your partner doing well and doing better than you, and you want to bring them down, you want to subdue them, you want to oppress them just so that they are not appearing or even doing better than you. And there are issues where, you can see that the lady is doing well, but you want to financially restrain her. Imagine someone like Dwayne Wade that earns tens and thousands of dollars and hundreds of dollars trying to go 50-50 with his wife. There's there's no equality in that situation. There's nothing equal about that. There is nothing equal about that. That is abuse as far as I'm concerned. Because if I'm earning the same amount of you and we go 50-50, you can say that's fair. But if you're earning circles around me, right, and you still insist on going 50-50, to me that's not fair. There's no fairness in that, okay? There's no fairness in that. So guys, yeah, basically this is the news that's been trending, and there's one more point I want to touch on, and I think maybe we will talk about it in another video. Is the fact that a lot of these women who experience abuse or experience violence in any kind of form, finances has a whole lot to play in. Okay, finances in the sense that either you are forced not to have anything, so you are subjected and you're forced to remain in such a situation because where will I start from? How will my kids deal with it? How can I provide for them? I'm not doing anything, I don't have any job. Or you are earning so much and you are made to cover up the fact that you're earning so much by, him refusing to maybe get a bigger apartment because you are earning so much, or because he doesn't want to be his name on the or your name on the lease alone or whatever, or you contributing to it. It's like, oh, I cannot provide for my family, then you can't provide for my family. I mean, we've seen instances like that where men are so threatened and intimidated by the woman's success and her financial growth that women have to hide the fact that they have the money that they have. We even find comments like, we had this conversation recently where because a woman is advancing in her career, the question is, will she even get married? Okay, will she find anybody that's going to marry her? She's doing so well. Will she find a husband? And she's literally forced to stop doing what she's doing or pretend or hold herself back so that she can fit into what the ideal or what the description of what marriage should look like or who a married woman should look like. I mean, that's happened to me before while I was doing my master's and I considered doing a PhD, and someone was like, don't you have a lot of degrees already? Like, are you going to find a husband? Okay, and now I'm in marriage. My husband has even superseded me, but yeah, I did find the husband. So a lot of women are afraid of succeeding, and so they settle. Okay, they settle in relationships. They are afraid of their own success. They are afraid of their own light. Okay, so they settle. They go beneath. They marry down. I know there's a lot of conversation about marrying down now, and marrying men that are below par. Okay, below society's expectations of them and things like that, and they end up more often than not end up in the situations that we're describing. So this is a whole topic for these are topics I would consider throughout the coming days and weeks and stuff like that. But in this particular video, I just want to say that women, please, it's as if I'm on my knees. The slightest sign of abuse, there's no need to stay in that relationship. Please leave. Okay, the slightest sign is better safe than sorry. It's better that you exaggerate than you're sorry. Okay, it's better that you leave and survive for your children, for yourself, than being a headline or a statistic, because we never know when it's going to be your last breath. A lot of the times people say, oh, it was just one slap. It was just one slap. It's not just slap. Your father did much more to me, and I endured. Why can't you endure? A lot of things, a lot of comments will be made. People will say things. That's if you even speak up, because a lot of these women don't speak up till it's quite late, till things have been done. They keep covering up. They keep posting on Instagram like everything. I mean, you would have not guessed that throughout Kiki's pregnancy, she was probably being abused. I mean, allegedly, but you wouldn't have guessed. There was no indication. There was nothing. You still see posts and all of that. So please leave, because you never know. There are situations where, like, this IVD and bimbo situation that we discussed, I don't think she would have realized at that time that she died would have been her last breath. Once you die, you are gone. That's it. And if you have kids, you're leaving them to the world to take care of them. You're leaving them to the fates and everything to take care of them. And who suffers in those scenarios? Who suffers in those kinds of situations? It's the kids. Okay, so please, 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 if you see a situation where if you're in a relationship, situationship, parenting situationship as well, if you're, whatever the case may be, if you're receiving any kind of abuse, please, I'm begging you, leave for tomorrow. Okay, so that you have an opportunity to the light is changing. Let me just turn it down a little bit, guys. Sorry. Okay, So if you're in a situation where things are changing, and if you're in a situation where you are being abused, please call the FIDA hotline. I'm going to put it there. Get to the police station, make a report, tell your family members, get out of there as soon as possible. Because again, abuse is a crime. The way we are discussing these things as if it's just one of those things. I keep saying it as a lawyer, as a woman's rights advocate, it's a crime and it should be reported and people should be prosecuted. Go Megan Thee Stallion, because I mean she took it all the way. Even though the whole world they were criticizing her for that, but she took it all the way and she secured a conviction. So yes, you can secure a conviction and you should secure a conviction in that case or in any of these cases. Yeah. So I just wanted to shed light on this and talk about it. As women, we need to do better for ourselves. We need to value our lives much more than we do, because I can't imagine a situation where this kind of thing happens and you're protecting the person, you're covering it up, and somebody else might get into that situation with this person and not even realize who they are dealing with and what they are dealing with, because some of these people they're not well at all. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section and I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up this video, like, subscribe, share and all of that good stuff. Okay, bye.